Thank you. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to do a roll call. Ms. Dole? Here. Mr. Safdie is absent. Ms. Nichols? Here. Ms. Eby is absent. Ms. Hale? Here. Mr. Davis is absent. Mr. King?
Here.
Ms. Stout?
Here.
And Ms. Boston is here. So let the record show that Mr. Safdie, Ms. Eby, and Mr. Davis are all not present. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so we have a first and second on approval of the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is JROTC. I had this put separate so the board could consider funding. It is not included in your budget sheet, but I thought it needed to be approved by the board prior to funding. So I'll turn the floor over to whoever would.
Motion to approve the JROTC program.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Any discussion? Question?
I'd like to see it happen.
Huh?
I said, I'd like to see it happen.
I think
If we
that's the
can
general
afford to do it.
consensus, but
Yeah.
there again,
Miss Bray.
220 roughly.
At a
That's what
guess.
I've been told.
As a guess.
Yes.
And that's worst case scenario, I guess, for lack of putting any better, right? That would be the most out of
Depending-
pocket.
I'm gonna have to rely on my boss there to answer that one.
Yeah, it just depends on the ranks.
Right.
So if we
Who
have
applies for the job?
And
Right.
we're looking at two positions.
one for each school to start out with, and then I think the standard for the Army on their side as far as personnel is once we get to the 150 mark, then we look at 2 instructors.
For each school.
If they get to that mark, yeah.
So
that's-
we've got 1 and 1,
start the
SMHS,
program.
CCHS to start with. Okay, and the 220, that involves their
Salary,
benefits, everything.
taxes, Yes.
Your entire package.
Okay.
But we're still waiting,
Guesstimate.
right.
Now-
We're still waiting to hear back from the military that there
Yes.
might be some
That was my
assistance
next
with that.
Are we asking, if we ask for 220, is that enough?
Well, it's a guesstimate. We're guessing. It just really depends. If we end up with 2 colonels, then it probably won't be, but I don't see that happening.
Who do you think possibly, would we wind up with?
So when working through the brigade on this, they have a list of people that are interested. They're either coming close to retirement or already retirement that would like to be instructors. And then we start with that list. We obviously would post it once the money's approved. And then we would reach out through them, and they get all those requests sent to them for Michigan down to Tennessee. It's their area.
Okay.
And if we score well enough on the order of merit list, they'll pay half
Right.
of it. So that's I've already turned our applications in, our request letters with all the justification for us to be on the OML. I just haven't received something back yet.
And that would be for this coming year that they would
That's what
go
we're
ahead and
trying to
pay
do.
half that if we got that?
If we got that, we would hope it starts then. If not, we could work it through the NDCC program. We pay for it first year and then really work hard to get it way up on that OML list.
Is there a test involved?
No, it's the demographics, it's where the high schools are, where the community is, the community support. I had to put that in the justification, which I listed every organization I've went and talked to about this, the Military Officers Association, the Rotaries, County Commission Education Commission, twice I've met with them. I listed all the
That's a great
supporters.
idea.
VFW's supporting it. The MOAA actually provides financial support to, is it 7 or 8 of those programs in
All
Upper
the
County?
surrounding counties.
Yeah, all the surrounding counties that have it. So I think this is like 8 or 9 programs.
Including Oak Ridge.
Including, yeah, Anderson and Oak Ridge High School.
And this rounds out our CTE program with adding
That's the one
this.
pathway we don't have currently.
I'm going just to throw this out there. It's your motion. It has a second on it. But if we can include a number so that we know what we're budgeting.
A dollar amount? Okay, so approval of the JROTC program, up to 220,000 for 2 instructors, for salary, 220,000 for salary for 2 instructors.
Would that be 120,000 apiece if we had 2?
Depends on their ranking, so one might be more.
We don't know who's gonna
be
apply,
less.
so that's,
if I did-
that's the crapshoot. I mean, we don't know.
I listed those numbers on this my crazy color sheet.
You crazy
Number
colors.
9. I listed some examples
Oh, yeah,
of
I see that.
the cost. So you can see if it was 2 colonels, then it probably wouldn't be enough, but the others I listed in rank are much lower pay.
Yeah.
So we could,
End up
we
with
could go under.
lieutenants.
Yes. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
likely we'll be under from what I can tell.
And potentially, it could be even less than that if we're able to go ahead and get the approval on the
Yeah.
list.
Get the numbers up.
And I think I've asked this before, but if I have, pardon me. Does Phoenix get to participate?
We can figure out a way for them to participate,
That was gonna be
absolutely.
my question, how would that work if we had any students at Phoenix that wanted to?
But depending on,
When they met.
yeah, it just, when they meet,
Timing.
it could also be, they can just participate in the after-school programs of the rifle teams or they have some PT teams that they call ranger teams.
The new drone
that
stuff.
compete against everybody,
Yep.
that kind of stuff. So they have a lot of extracurricular. That's why when you get to 150, I mean, you need that second person because you got summer camps, you got all kinds of things that they do in the summer too.
Could we make sure that that is at least offered to the Phoenix students?
Yes, yeah, we'll figure out a way to
And
make
that
it
way,
work. No
because you
doubt.
may have somebody over there that really
Definitely.
gravitates
Yes.
to the structure
Yes.
of that,
Yes.
Yeah, we can. There would just be an attachment probably to Cumberland County High School.
since it's close.
Yeah, since it's right there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about when we had it before, we only had the one high school, am I correct?
We had it over at Stone too.
Oh,
We
okay.
expanded and then we canceled.
So we had it for longer than what I thought we had it. Okay.
I think the timing is right.
Well, Stone opened in 2007. So I have no idea. Okay, any further discussion? Since it involves money, Ms. Stoll?
Yes.
Ms. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
And Ms. Stout?
Yes.
And Ms. Boston votes yes, motion carries. Next on the agenda is the budget worksheet. I'm looking around the room, and I think everyone that is present today has been present during the budget meetings. So if you've had any questions, you normally do. How would you like for Ms. Bray to continuously go through it? Excuse me. Do you have specific questions, or do you want to do this? Mr. Stepp, do you have any suggestions?
What do you want to do?
I think motion to approve the budget, and then that gets us to discussion. Unless you have anything specific that I need to point out that we didn't point out before.
Well, there's going to be, I think there's going to be a motion. Well, no, there won't. I don't know. We'll just wait and see. I guess I'm going to have to.
Maybe Ms. Bray can start by just pointing out the changes, since we had one last night and we voted for some things, or the budget committee voted for some things last
Right.
night.
The
If I
only
could just
thing
point those out.
that changed last, that is different in this, is all certified, is now gonna get an 8% raise. We added 3 new special education teachers.
In addition to the 4.
Right,
that
so
was
we're
seven.
total
Yeah, we're
7.
seven.
A total of 7, right.
And we approved the new classified supervisor scale. We removed the middle school TMS, I never say that right.
Kim, that's still on the
TMSS.
budget.
No, I've taken it off. I didn't take it out of the narrative, it is taken out of the numbers.
Now, look on page 9. That is,
Maybe I missed it.
Page 9.
it's still in there on page 9.
New one? What line, Teresa?
Well, I've got now, let me put it, it's in the narrative.
Yeah, the number is deleted, the narrative we did.
Numbers
Okay, so that, I didn't bring
So the
it
narrative,
from
we'll just
yesterday.
edit that narrative and get the narrative
Okay.
part out, but the number on there only represents the national competition.
Do you have the budget from yesterday? Because I went strictly by the narrative.
That's my mistake. I
That's
took
okay.
out the number.
Never mind, I've got one.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it was 10,200 yesterday on that line, it's now 7,500.
And it's 561, and you took that down to 546.
Correct.
Okay, so it's just in the narrative. Thank you.
I'll correct that.
Okay. So that's, okay. I'm sorry. carry on.
Let's see. New classified supervisor scale was approved, removed that. And I think that was the only changes that we had from last night.
And
That's
the
all the
only,
notes I had.
and the only change that we suspected today was the
Yes, ma'am. But I did
JROTC.
nothing with that.
You didn't, it's not in the budget.
No, ma'am.
So it will be inserted and it will come out.
Correct.
What page will that be on?
CTE one?
I don't know that it would be on the CTE, I think it would probably just be on your regular teacher page.
Correct.
What page is
What
that?
page number?
That is
13, I believe.
13?
teachers, it's account 41100.
Okay, I got the wrong page.
So what page, what?
What page?
5,
Page 5.
page 5, just your regular teacher page. So we would just be adding 2 teaching positions, and I would put it there. Benefits, taxes, insurance, retirement.
Okay.
So we'll just add 220,000 to that. And that will decrease our fund balance by 220,000, right, if there are no more changes.
Correct.
Is that correct?
I'll try to make it work where it comes out to exactly 220. Because I've got it formulated out which figures the taxes exactly, I'll back into it.
Yeah. It's like figuring child support, just plug it in.
Did we make it more difficult by giving a dollar amount?
I'll work it out.
Okay.
I think we have to
I'll
have a
make it.
dollar amount,
Yeah.
so that we know what we're budgeting.
I agree.
I needed a
I
ballpark,
agree.
it's just if I want to make it exact, it might be off a little bit.
If we need to all pitch in a dollar or so, let me know.
We
can do that.
The taxes and the TCRS.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the time to ask, but, you know, we approved the special ed teachers last night. I was just wondering, are they gonna be in the classrooms?
One will be at Brown Elementary, one will be at South, a halftime will be at Pondview, and a halftime will be at North for the 3 full times.
Halftime will be at North and where else?
Pondview,
Yeah, they'll be in classrooms.
What about the other 4?
the other 4,
We're not gonna hold you to this.
trying to think. There's a new CDC classroom at Stone Elementary. They changed the law on speech writing IEPs that SLPAs could no longer do those. So we're gonna have 2 positions that are traveling between 4 schools writing speech IEPs.
That's an excellent idea.
And so that's 3 of the 4.
Okay, that's it. I was just curious.
But every position is at a school that we're adding.
So why do we have 2 half positions at North?
Right, currently, he has he has 2.5 teachers, and this will make him have 3 full-time teachers.
Okay.
Miss Spicer at Pine View right now has a half-time teacher. That will give her a full-time teacher.
Go you. Go you. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we approve the budget as presented at this time.
Second.
We have a second. We're open for discussion.
That's as presented and amended?
And amended.
Okay. With the JROTC?
Yes.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Now, this is what we're gonna work with all this year,
Yes.
but we're gonna also work on, the
Yes.
budget committee is gonna work on some other things, okay?
Yes. Which we voted on last night.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And we'll have the TMSAA that we'll be revisiting after the additional June meetings to
Once
see
we-
what we
I
might
mean,
do for that.
It's an ever-changing document. But we'll see where we end up with TMSAA. And that's not a great deal of
It's
money.
not a big expense.
It's
no.
not.
Just need to keep it in the back of our mind that
Right.
that might be forthcoming.
Is there any more discussion? Is there anything else we need to know?
Not that I can think of. We pretty well covered it all.
That we have.
It's basically about wages and new positions.
I'm comfortable.
Good. You good?
Okay. Let's do a roll call vote. Ms. Stoll?
Yes.
Ms. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes,
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Stout?
Yes.
Ms. Boston votes yes. Motion carries. We have a budget. This is the point where we go, yoo-hoo. Did it seem a little painless this year, Chris, or was it was last year?
A little shorter, but
Maybe that's it. Next on the agenda is the proposed salary scales. These came out of the budget committee. I think everyone here was present during all of those conversations. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve salary scales?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a first and second to approve the proposed salary scale. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What was that?
now this is all that we voted on, last night. and
Yes.
The,
Yes.
the cafeteria employee pay scale and all this.
That will be under nutrition. We approved that separately.
Okay.
Any discussion? Any further discussion? If not, Ms. Stoll?
Yes.
Ms. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. King?
yes.
Ms. Stout?
Yes.
And Ms. Boston votes yes, so the motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is the 23-24 federal budget, federal programs, federal IDEA, and the consolidated funding application. And I would like to see whoever read the 243 pages to please raise your hand.
Mr. Wattenberger?
Put yours down. You
I
don't-
wrote it, so I better have read it.
You've seen it before. We got it this afternoon.
Our in-house expert.
Yeah, that's right. In-house expert. I like that.
I'll entertain a motion to approve
Madam
of
Chair,
federal programs.
move to approve federal programs budget.
Do you want to include the consolidated funding application include with that?
Yes.
Okay. I'll second that. Any discussion?
Ms. Hamby does a good job.
Yes. Well, this is Mr. Wittenberg.
Mr. Wittenberger does a good job.
And he
They both
has
do a good job.
the 243
Good job,
pages.
I'm sure he
Yes.
has.
Thanks for digging and finding money.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate it.
awesome. We do appreciate it.
We have a motion to approve the federal programs, federal IDA, consolidated funding application. Ms. Stoll?
Yes.
Ms. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Stout?
Yes.
And Ms. Boston votes yes, motion carries. Okay. Nails your cafeteria.
All right.
Next on the agenda is your proposed pay scale for the nutrition program and the cafeteria budget. I'll make a motion to approve,
Second.
and I have a second. Any discussion? Ms. Handy, you good?
Unless you want me to just touch on a few things? or
I think we can honestly say we trust you.
We do. We do trust you.
We trust you. Okay, any discussion? If not, Ms. Stoll?
Yes.
Ms. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Stout?
Yes.
Ms. Foster votes yes, motion carries. Mo, questions from the media? Come on,
Oh, just make one up.
now's the time.
She's like,
Ask Sherry who does it. Okay.
When do we have to take this to the commissioners?
Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30.
Tomorrow.
So you'll amend, will you email us out a copy of what, of the final product?
I can do that.
And then that we can have it. And then it's tomorrow afternoon at the courthouse at 4:30. That's where we always present.
Okay, at the big room?
It's, when you go up to the third floor, it's the office on, or the meeting room on the left. The other one is the courtroom. And if there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So we have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a budget.